Greetings, fellow braves. Greeting you from the sunny Algarve, where today it is 18 degrees. Most of you are thinking that it's New Year's Day today, but in actual fact, it shouldn't be. Because you see, this whole thing about Jesus, the Son of God, being born on Christmas Day, it's all pagan astro mythology. You see, the winter solstice happens on the 23rd of December, when the sun gets the lowest in the northern hemisphere that it does throughout the whole year. And when it gets to this lowest position, it stays there for 3 days. 23rd, 24th, 25th. And then it starts to rise again into the springtime. And so you see, the Son of God rising from the dead, having been dead 3 days, you see, you're practicing paganism, people. If you're going to do it, but save your money, for goodness sakes. And so now, we are several days into the new year, because obviously the new year starts the moment the sun starts to come back up. And so here we are, and here is baby Jesus up in the sky. The Son of God. I'm supposing that most of you are shrouded in grey shit, and wow, look at, hello! Coming around to see me again, are you? Hello! I get these flybys quite often throughout the day. And so there's quite a lot of people around because the weather's absolutely gorgeous and it's holiday. And so what I'm doing today is I'm going on this walk, which is through that wooded area, and that's the wooded area that I'm one day going to be doing DMT in. And you can see you can walk along all these cliffs, and it goes for like a couple of miles over the back direction before you get to an inlet where there's an impasse. And so, people, whatever you're doing, make the most of it. But don't ever forget that there are other worlds, you know. There are other lives that you can be living. No point in resigning yourself to that variety of life if it's not very conducive to you for the rest of your life. That would be a crying shame, wouldn't it? I'm just standing here watching the swell, and it's a beautiful, wow, look at this. See the swell coming in here? It raises up just before it breaks. Wow, people enjoying themselves. Isn't it something? And you know, the water's still warm. Look, still swimmable. Looking down here at the gazillion stars. And when you stare at them, they all just sing hello. So I thought I'd brighten up your dreary New Year's Day. Another wave coming in there. You see, it was a full moon last night, and so the swell is quite large. And last night there was a neap tide, which is the largest tide of the month when we have a full moon. No, sorry, a spring tide. Spring tide. A neap tide is when it is at its lowest. So I'll make a few videos today. I don't think I have anything so worth listening to. I'll just be giving you a few vistas to brighten up your lives a little bit, maybe. Talk to you later, Braves. They can't see it. They can't see it. I'm like, can you see that? Can you hear that? Can you smell that? Look, feel this. Look closely at this. They can't see it. They can't feel it. And they can't hear it. They can't be here. They absolutely can't be here. Where's here? Present. In the present. That's where they're not. This is the prerequisite, you see, people. And it's a very, very simple thing, but it appears to be very complex. And this is again another one of the paradoxes.
Skunkweed, my friend.
Skunkweed?
Skunkweed. I've seen your film on YouTube.
Oh, really?
You're famous already.
Wow, nice one, bud. This guy, he just went skunkweed. Skunkweed, my friend. I've seen your video on YouTube. That video's got 500,000 hits. Can you believe that? Somebody just walking randomly through the bushes see me and recognise me. Well, there's a thing. Quite incredible, that is. He sees, and she sees, and that's why they're out here. And maybe what helped him see was the skunkweed. You see, what I'm saying is the prerequisite to being able to see and feel and listen is being present, being free here, being completely detached from that world, that matrix world. You will never see this as long as you are captured by that world. I just WhatsApped, video called my daughter, and she says, "What are you doing?" And I said, "I'm enjoying myself. I'm absolutely in a state of bliss. And whilst I've been in this state of bliss, I've been making a video." She says, "What about?" I says, "About you. About people like you who can't see and feel." It's absolutely amazing. It's so amazing. It is for me. It's equally as amazing as a DMT trip. When I express what it's like on a DMT trip, can you imagine if we lived in this other world, like a DMT world, and then we came here on a trip. We'd be going, unbelievable, unbelievable, unbelievable. There's things flying in the sky. There's this beautiful chirping sounds that echo through this dreamy kind of landscape, which is given to a million shades of browns and greens, and you just feel like you belong there. You just feel like that is you. That's the connection. Can you see? Can you see, people? What I'm saying here? This is a DMT trip. It's fucking amazing. Every single little thing about it. You look around at these trees, and they're eucalyptus trees, and you can see how the bark is just swinging gently when a little breeze blows, like one of these. And that, for me, is so exciting. And just to look down there, and you see all the light, which is many, many different shades, through the deeper and more subtler shadowy shady bits that you got. And then when you look into the light, it's a whole different ball game again. Every single place you look, it's amazing. And I am in awe. Even the sound, those sounds. There's just something about those sounds. I guess it's like what people say when they're on DMT. You hear these sounds and they sound so familiar. You hear like an angelic choir singing. We've got angelic choirs singing every day on this world. They're called birds. And yet we don't give them a mind. People are going to start waking up this year. They're going to have to. They're going to be shocked into waking up. They are going to be pummeled into waking up. This is one of the prerequisites for waking up. I had mine. All of those of you who are awake have had yours. So you know what I'm speaking about. Theirs is coming. It's coming via a world war. It's coming via some sort of alien announcement or intervention. It's coming via an atomic crash. It's coming via something that is going to destabilise the human mind to such a degree that we will be forced into another paradigm. And according to many people, this is what's written. It's the changing over into the astrological sign of Aries, which is the water bearer. Aquarius. We're going into Aquarius. And this is going to be responsible for the great human vibration shift. And now for those of you that don't think there's anything to be said for astrology, there absolutely is. Our whole world is governed by astrology. Just look at what you've been doing over this past few days. You've been carrying out an astrological ritual based on the stars in the sky. Everything the Egyptians did was based on the stars in the sky. Everything any early civilization have done was based on the stars in the sky, and the planets, and the sun and the moon. Everything pertains to astrology, people. Now, I was born under the astrological sign of Libra, the scales, and although I don't pay any attention to the rubbish that's written in the newspapers or in books on the newspapers on a daily basis, and then these rubbish books, find out what your partner's like, crock of shit. But I know something, and I know how I change under the varying position of the moon, whether it's a new moon, a full moon, or partial moon. I know how my sexuality is changed, my energy changes, and being born under the scales, that's me. That is me to a T. Always looking for this equilibrium, basking in the equilibrium. If I get out of balance from time to time, I don't like that. I want to get back to this semblance of balance, this beautiful calm and tranquility. There's a lot to be said for it. So I'm going back down now towards the coast to sit with the seagulls and just gaze at this trip. Just enjoy this trip. Every single second of it, people. Every so often you get a big one smashing through there, like now. Come on! Isn't she beautiful? Thousands of years been doing this. Twice a day, every day, for thousands of years. Going to be making lots of videos today, people. What it makes you do, what it makes you feel like, is like and it makes you breathe. And it makes you go, fuck yes! Fuck yes! I'm having it! I'm having it! What are you having, Aaron? I'm having life! I'm having it! I'm taking it! I'm feeling it! I'm seeing it! I'm hearing it! I'm smelling it! We're going to wait for a big one to come down smashing into here. I think I can see him coming. He's about 10 seconds away. I don't think it's this one, I think it's that one. But let's have a look. Oh, he's not bad. He's not bad, but I'm pretty sure it's that boy over there. Come on. Come on. Here we go. Come on. Give it to us. Boom. Hands up, who's got an erection? Me. Whoa, okay. Check this one. That one is a monster. Look at that awesome power. Couldn't you just sit here and watch this all day long? Can you imagine what this is like, I was going to say in the winter time, but we get storms here sort of like March, April, and that's when I'm going to come down here and do some filming, and you're going to see something like crazy, man. So, onwards. Okay, a short disclaimer. I'm high as fuck on endorphins and on photons. You don't need drugs. You really don't. I mean, I like taking them now and again just to see something else, and so I know what people are speaking about. But every day's a DMT trip for me. People can't see this. They talk about, oh, you've not had a breakthrough. You don't see what I see. You just don't see what I see on this planet, people. You don't feel what I feel. Anyway, what I'm going to say is, right, you better start getting your shit together, because the aliens are coming, you know. And if the aliens don't get us, the artificial intelligence will. That's coming too. It's already here. They're all already here. And if the aliens and the AI don't get us, then maybe World War III will. And if the aliens and the AI and the World War III don't get us, then our slave masters will get us even more. They will dumb us down even more. They will imprison us even more. They will take away our life's zest even more. Look at what's happened, people. I've managed to keep emancipated from it. I can feel what this has to give. I'm with it. I'm an expression of it. How many people have had that taken away? It's been squeezed out of them. Little by little, month by month, year by year, it's all squeezed out of them. So what I'm saying is, people, there's a solution. And the solution... Run! Run! Run for the fucking trees! Run for the bushes! Fuck it out! Get away from these motherfuckers! I think I'm alone now. Come on, people, go have a laugh, haven't you? Oh, fuck. This planet is truly amazing. This is heaven. And this also is hell. And you know who is master of hell? And it isn't Satan. It's the archons. It's the psychopaths. It's the egotists. It's the megalomaniacs. That's who are responsible for it, people. And also it is us. We are responsible because we allow it to happen. We allow them to do whatever they want to do with us, because we're sad, pathetic specimens. Really, really, really. We are so sad and pathetic, we deserve every single thing we get. When we no longer deserve what we are getting, we won't get it. Do you get it? Are you getting it? When you no longer deserve it, you won't get it. And that's as simple as it comes, people. So, choices. I've made mine. God! Wherever you are, whoever you are, whatever you are, what is it that made this thing possible? I thank thee! I thank you! I thank everything that made this thing possible. This life experience. Isn't it a blast? Isn't it a blast? I'm telling you, it's a blast, people. And I'm not just talking about one day standing on a cliff. I'm talking about 54 years. Every single thing I've done, it's been a blast. It really has been a blast. And so I thank whatever it is that's allowed me to appreciate, because that seems a rare commodity these days. It seems the part of the human being that is being eradicated. I just can't appreciate. Everywhere I look, I look down there, and the moment I looked down there, I saw that shimmering going on. And what I see down there, I see those beautiful Flemish, like, inundations, this pattern that's going on. Then I see the stars bouncing intermittently. Then I see the froth. Then I see the light in general passing through it in different shades of beautiful blues and greens. And the whole experience, it's talking to me. It's saying, thank you for appreciating me. It may come as a surprise to you people, but if you look closely at every single thing, there should be something there that you can appreciate. If nothing else but the genius of what you're looking at. But if you don't recognise the genius, then you need to learn a little bit more. Learn, people. And then when you've learnt and learnt and learnt, they still won't be able to tell you how it happens. And that's the thing. And so then you just have to marvel in awe at the genius. Don't try to understand it. Don't try to break it down into molecules and atoms. Don't do that. Just look at it in awe and appreciate the feeling that it's giving you, potentially. What you can derive out of it, potentially. If you're a seer. The thing is about appreciation. You don't have to be clever to appreciate. You don't have, or at least you never used to have in the old days, to have done an apprenticeship on appreciation. But it seems these days you do. You don't have to have a PhD to appreciate. You just have to have a calm mind. You just really need to have a calm mind. And then when your mind is calm, that's when you can appreciate. See, you don't have to learn anything specific. You don't have to know about all this. You don't have to be able to name these trees and all these plants and this, that and the other. You don't need to be a botanist. You don't need to know anything about flora and fauna. You don't need to know what that bird is to appreciate it. Because appreciation doesn't necessarily come from knowledge. You can get a higher appreciation for something when you know a little bit about how it's created. Here you go. Holy smoke. It's like bumblebees. People are saying about bumblebees that they don't fly with their wings like people used to think. What actually happens is, due to the vibration of their wings, they get into a certain resonance which puts them kind of like in a bubble of another dimension. It creates anti-gravity. And so they're not really supporting their weight, because comparatively the bee is huge compared to its little flimsy wings. And so scientists look at that and they go, well, it doesn't seem feasible. You do the math, it's not feasible. And so then they've looked for something else. And what they are speculating now is that they're creating anti-gravity. This is not unusual, people. There are several creatures that are known about these days that create anti-gravity. And one of them is a beetle. And it is speculated that this is why, this is my speculation by the way, it's why the Egyptians revered the scarab beetle so much. I mean, you hear it said that, oh, it's because they roll this dung up in a particular way, these little moist, compact stores of food, but I don't see it like that. I think their wings were anti-gravity, like they are on lots of beetles, or at least some beetles. And this is how, you see, when you see one of these scarab beetles and you see it flying with these tiny little flimsy wings and this huge body with armour all over it, that doesn't make sense, does it? So what do you need to do to appreciate? How are you going to get there? How are you going to learn to appreciate? Can you learn to appreciate? I don't know whether you can learn. Because if you learn about nature and everything like that, all you're doing really is intellectualising it. And I'm not talking about that level of appreciation. That's one level for sure, when you learn about it. But I'm talking about the one that you feel. You just feel stuff all around. Listen. I can hear the ocean over there. I can hear wood pigeon over there. I can hear some sort of a bird far, far over there. Another bird over there. And that's all I can hear. Huh. Now I can hear a plane. That's appreciation. You see, some people, when they get into a place where it's so quiet, they become afraid because their ego, their operating system, puts them on red alert because it's something that they haven't experienced before, and the ego doesn't know what to make of it, and it finds it uncanny. It finds it very curious, and it doesn't like it, and it wants noise to continue because that's what it's used to. Any snakes coming through? Coming through. Holy. I don't quite know where I am now. Around. Imagine living there. That's quite an achievement, isn't it? To have managed to buy a house there. Hello, Rock. I appreciate you. I'm not fucking about. I do. I really do. I appreciate my eyes being blessed by it. And I noticed certain things about it. About how brain-like it was. Grey matter. Small, smooth indulations. Yes. And it makes me want to fondle it. Now look over there. Doesn't that look enticing? I think I'd better go there right now. I'm just going to have a 5-minute nature watch with you people. Just to observe, just to look at the world about you. Whenever you get the opportunity, whenever you get the mind to do it. It's having the mind to do it. It's taking an interest in what this stuff is all around you. So I'm just walking back towards my apartment and I'm observing, and I see this. How you've got this variety of conifer tree, and it displays its seed-bearing fruit in a particular way. Sometimes singularly, but sometimes in pairs. And then if you look a little bit further, you make other discoveries. That's the size, ultimately, it's going to grow to. And for some reason, I would speculate that this one was pulled off because it never matured and it never opened to shed its seeds. Then, over here, for those of you that are not Spanish or Portuguese, and I guess quite a few places around the world, they have this variety of cactus which is called sweet pear cactus, I believe. Now this caught me out on one occasion when I was climbing some mountains on Fuerteventura in the Canary Islands, I came upon one of these and I decided to see if they were edible, and so I picked one. But if you look closely, you see they've got little like tufts of barbs, very, very tiny hairs, and they get in the skin, and there's no way to get them out because they're barbed, and they're very irritating. But the fruit itself is very tasty. Just going to make sure that I'm focusing on this properly. It's like cranberry, and so ooh, really hard seeds, but look at that. Looks like blood. See that? But very sweet. But full of rock hard seeds. So wouldn't make very good jam unless you sift it. Moving on. See these trees here? They're eucalyptus trees. And what I love about them is they're in such a beautiful natural state. And it's kind of like they have some sort of a relationship with the serpent. Because, like the serpent, they shed their skins on a constant basis. And so you can see hanging all around is the previous bark skin. Why it does this is anybody's guess. But curious. And so then going over to this one here, and I've never seen a tree like this before. I don't know what variety of eucalyptus tree, whether it's the ones I used to see. I think I first saw them when I was in Australia. You know, koala bears, they like to eat these gum leaves, they're called. And generally, they're kind of like that one there, only a bit more silvery. And they don't have any bark on them because it's all been shed. But this one here, it looks like it's growing dreadlocks. And it's like a nice copper kind of colour. And so just to look at that is really quite intriguing, stimulating, absorbing. When you look at it closely and you see what's going on as these are twisting around and flaking off. Why? Okay, people, I think that's a wrap. I'm heading back homeward bound now. Hasta luego.